As Democrats in the House of Representatives attempted to advance a pro-abortion bill last week, one Catholic professor gave a powerful pro-life counter-witness. A House subcommittee held a hearing last week on the, quote, Women's Health Protection Act of 2019. Pro-life leaders warned this bill would radically expand abortion on demand through birth and force the taxpayer funding of abortion. It would sweep away limits on late-term abortion, safety standards at abortion facilities, informed consent, and conscience protections. While a majority of the witnesses were pro-abortion advocates, one witness was Catholic law professor Teresa Stanton Collett of the University of St. Thomas School of Law. Take a listen to part of Colette's pro-life testimony on Capitol Hill, when she debunked the myth that women need abortion to succeed.
The simple fact is there is no correlation between access to abortion and women's participation in the economic and social life of this country. To the extent that there is any correlation, it appears to be a negative correlation. But women are succeeding in this society while abortion rates are falling rapidly.
And joining us now from Minneapolis, Minnesota is Teresa Stanton Collett herself. Teresa serves as director of the Pro-Life Center at the University of St. Thomas's School of Law and was previously appointed to the Pontifical Council for the Family by Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. Teresa, welcome to the show. I do not imagine it was easy to be the pro-life voice at a pro-abortion hearing. What was the main message you wanted to get across to lawmakers?
Well, Catherine, I think the main message I wanted to get across is that abortion actually may be an impediment to women's success in society, and we certainly don't know about the safety of it, notwithstanding the sort of perpetuation of that myth that abortion is the safest surgical procedure that we have in this country. The reason that people say that is because the only data we have is from the abortion industry itself. And as I told Representative Burgess, the minority chair of the committee, it's like trying to regulate tobacco in the same way that we would rely on the Tobacco Research Institute. When you only have the industry's data, you have no idea how safe it is.
Teresa, the hearing was on the Women's Health Protection Act of 2019, which sounds like a positive piece of legislation women should support, but you say it is deceptively named. What should our viewers know about this bill?
The fact is that there are some serious negative correlations with abortion's availability. While the American Psychological Association has suggested that to the extent women have any post-abortion trauma, it's because of pre-existing mental weaknesses, the data we have from Western Europe, where they have a comprehensive health system and more comprehensive records, show that in fact post-abortion stress syndrome is real. There is a trauma that happens to women. The other thing is, even the World Health Organization has recognized that aborting your first pregnancy increases the possibility of breast cancer. So many of the things that the pro-life organization has been saying for decades have been ignored because in this country, again, the only data we have is coming from the abortion industry itself. It is not the Women's Health Protection Act. In fact, it is an act that undermines the health of women and certainly will lead to increasing abortion rates for the unborn children.
There was one exchange during the hearing that picked up some headlines when Democrat Representative G.K. Butterfield of North Carolina pressed you on your personal views on contraception. What did you make of that moment?
Well, because my resume shows both that I'm at a Catholic university and that I've been active in the church's development of its current teachings on things, I was fairly confident when he didn't accept the answer of the legal status of contraception in this country, that what he was trying to do in reality was to sort of impugn my ability to testify objectively because I'm a Catholic, and I just wasn't going to have any of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are grateful for your testimony there. And finally, Teresa, while we have you, you also made the powerful point in your testimony that eliminating abortion restrictions would endanger women and girls when it comes to sex trafficking. Can you explain that?
Sure. One of the ways we detect sex trafficking is when health providers actually report that the abortion appears not to be fully voluntary, that there's some coercion going on, or when the woman herself discloses that she's subject to the threat of violence. With these sort of reporting requirements, which have been attacked regularly by the abortion industry in other contexts, particularly involving underage girls, If those are swept away by this bill, then in fact what will happen is we will lose a valuable tool in detecting whether or not sex trafficking has happened. The most recent study we have on this shows that most victims have on average 3 abortions during their period in the trade. That sort of information can be extremely valuable in detecting who the victims are, who the perpetrators of those crimes are, and shutting those sex trafficking rings down. And yet this bill would largely eliminate that.
Thank you for bringing that truth to light. Teresa Stanton Collett of the University of St. Thomas School of Law, thank you for being here.
Thank you.